Well, good afternoon, Lydia. How's it going?
Hi, Sarah. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. A little later in the afternoon than usual, but you
Yep.
know, still got lots of info for everybody, right?
Yes, we do. We definitely do. So, why don't you start? Obviously, every week we talk about forbearances and kind of what's going on in the market. We don't have a lot this week, but you start first, Sarah.
Sounds good. Well, I wanted to just talk about the latest forbearance numbers, they did actually decrease. We're still, I mean, you can call it 5.5% because we went from 5.53% to 5.46%. Still calling it 2.7 million homeowners in some forbearance plan. So then we have to look at, well, what does that mean? So is it by, so we look at the stage of, forbearance because they come in, 3 or 6 month plans. So usually when you
Right.
get started, you start usually on a 6 month plan. That's going to be the initial. And we had a tiny increase on initial requests. And as we did, we did talk about the timelines have been extended, FHA to the end of the
Hmm.
year. And right now, Fannie and Freddie have not released any, and I meant end of February, by the way, for FHA.
Right. Right.
There's no update on for Fannie and Freddie. We're just gonna keep watching it, and if they tell us something different, we'll tell you.
Yep.
Right now, for the initial plans, we're at just under 19%, so just a slight increase. The reentries actually decreased only slightly, so it's around 2%. Really, what's
Okay.
the biggest thing is people on extension that actually increased again, and
Yeah.
it's just under 80% of everybody in forbearance is on an extension, and that really kind of talks about where it's the people that have been struggling the whole time are still struggling. And
Right.
with the latest unemployment numbers, and they're talking from the Mortgage Bankers Association that the unemployment numbers dropping, the surging cases, people are at home, there's a lot more uncertainty. And
Right.
even with the whole political arena, there's a lot of people are feeling very uncomfortable with different things that are happening, and so it is creating, there's a lot of that pressure, and so that's maybe why we're not seeing some more of the decrease. And just as we look at the numbers, for the most part, when people leave their forbearance plan, it's at the beginning of the month. And then people
Right.
usually, the numbers start picking up as coming back in at the end of the month. So it's more normal
Right.
to see it decrease at the first half of the month. And so it did go down. We're just going to hope that it continues to go down, even if it's slowly. We know that, because like 4.5 million borrowers have already left forbearance. So we know
Right.
that this is a program that people have used and been successful with.
Right.
For
Correct.
the most part, and even just thinking that for the most part, people leaving their forbearance plan, 45% of them are current, combined with, kind of where the situation is. They're making their payments. Many of the others are negotiating loan mods, refinancing, selling. The group that we want to really pay attention to is it's 13.2% of the forbearance plan exit have no loss mitigation plan.
Right.
And that means they're struggling, they need help, they need to know what their options are, and they need to have those conversations, because with
Yep.
what's happening with our inventory, we talk about a dead drum horse. I keep saying that, dead drum. No, but where our inventory is so low,
Yeah.
prices have gone up so much, so people really have options. A lot of the people who are selling because even if they would otherwise foreclose, they can sell and walk away with money. So we need to
Right.
make sure that they know that they have options, so we
Yep.
can give them as much of that money, appreciation that they have. And just even getting
Absolutely.
a gauge on how low our inventory is.
Right.
12 months ago, we had low inventory, right? We're
Right.
51% fewer listings today than 12 months ago, and it was tight
Yep.
12 months ago.
Yep.
So we are
Exactly.
over 70% below normal. There's very little on the market. This is happening nationwide, and it's happening here, and it's just very, very crushing for some of our buyers.
And really, honestly, anybody who wants to put their home on the market will get a multiple offer situation and will have options for buyers. They won't get stuck with maybe one or two contracts. They'll have a multitude to look at. And better to walk away now with equity than to wait and not have a plan in place with your forbearance and have the bank take your equity, because that's basically your option if you don't do anything.
Right. If you don't get to the, solution, and it can be very detrimental to your credit score, to, the ability to get a rental, to get another loan, all that
Exactly.
stuff. And, I know that like in what you're seeing and the changes that are happening with the servicer you work with and things like that. I mean, we want to make sure everybody is as comfortable with what's going on and has their options. Cause I mean, the bottom line of all,
Absolutely.
the best housing market is a stable housing market. We don't want people panicking. What have you
Right.
been saying every single week? Don't panic
Don't
sell.
panic. Don't panic, sell.
Yes, yes. So what else are you seeing?
So the other thing that I'm seeing is more activity, active increase in activity on the servicing side. Um, uh, Not only in just drive-by inspections, but in BPOs specifically. So I am starting to pick up BPOs a few each week. And this is how my inspection started. It started out with a few each week, and now I'm doing a few each day, if not 5 to 8 in a day. So,
That's a
so
huge increase, Lydia.
it really is. It really is. And so it is a concern. I know that people are they don't know what's going on right now with the economy, with our politics, with, I mean, there's just a lot of news out there for a lot of people, and it's overwhelming to them.
Absolutely.
But they need to know that they have equity in their home today. Everybody's got equity in their home, even in other states. I mean, obviously, here in Arizona, we've got a lot of equity as well, but across the board, everybody's got equity. So you shouldn't have to go through a foreclosure. You should be able to put a plan together in place. Don't panic. Contact Sarah or myself. We can give you ideas of what needs to be done and how to do it. Better to have more options than at the end only having one option, and that would be to foreclose. The other thing that I'm finding too is, and I think I've talked about this in the past too, is the houses that I'm inspecting are in phenomenal shape. Most people, now that they've stayed at home for a year, everything's increasing. People are painting and putting new carpet and remodeling. They're spending money on their house. So let's keep that equity by either figuring out how to keep them in their home and get them paid up, or get them an exit strategy of maybe a permanent loan modification, or let's get the houses on the market sooner than later, since our inventory is 50% less than what it was a year ago. 50% less, that's crazy. I mean, you and I understand it because we're in the industry, but I don't think that the general public understands the ramifications of this. I mean, anything you put on the market, good or bad, is going to have a multiple offer situation. Obviously, a home that's kept up in better condition is going to get a lot more looks than one that's a fixer upper. You'll get less money for it and all that other things. So, but I mean, another option for some of these people is going with an investor. And right now, the investors are in a panic because they don't even have inventory. I can't tell you how many texts a day I get from investors saying, do you have any properties I can pick up? And if the investors don't have the properties, that tells you a lot. So we can package up your house and we can actually put it out there for multiple investors. If you don't want it on the open market, let us market it to all the investors out there. There's tons of them, and they are paying, a lot of them are paying top dollar right now
Yeah,
to
they
get
are,
these homes. So,
because
yep,
it's hard to get a house because
it's
there's
hard
just
to get a, even on the investor side. So,
yes.
so the which for the homeowner, the good thing right now for the homeowner is if you are in a forbearance or you've lost your job and you don't know what to do, you know, selling your home and getting all your equity out now is better than waiting a few months down the road when you're getting letters from your servicing company or the bank saying you're in pre-foreclosure, you're in pre-foreclosure. Let's do something now versus waiting for a couple of months. You'll have more options first off, and if you do decide to sell, you will have more equity in your home. Don't
Absolutely.
panic sell.
Don't panic sell.
Don't panic sell.
Love it. Love it. And it's true. And, we'll have more as we have more insight as we go
Yep.
deeper. Everybody, we're glad it's 2021. What does that mean? What's going to happen? We're still figuring it out with everybody else.
Yep, we are. And we will come back next week and give more updates on what we find this week. And like I said, call us anytime, even if you don't know what to do. We don't push you on anything. We just give you your options and then let you decide what to do. And that's really, options right now are your best thing for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. So,
well,
yeah.
I appreciate your time, Lydia, as always.
Thanks, Sarah.
And we'll be talking again next week.
We'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.